This video really is for Andrew Finnerty, a gentleman. We became friends. Um, I don't know. I don't know when it was, but the point is, he's made some marvelous discoveries by things I've shared with him and things he's learned on his own by being in a stage, if you will. But there are a lot of different words to describe how we experience being what we are in energy, being in an energetic environment, or a world, if you will, or a realm, a spiritual realm. So I knew as a small child, for example, it was a fallen realm, fallen spiritual realm. So this is why when he shared with me what his particular blood type was, it's RH factor, right? And he mentioned, because of a video that I had done about the interface with an AI, an API, fractal light, dead light, and the difference. And so he mentioned a word called a L.A.R.P, right? Which is live action. If you're a movie director, I've covered a lot of this stuff before about casting, spell casting, role players, characters. Now, in the computer information sciences domain, a character is a character on a keypad, whether it's a number or a symbol. Just like if you go into a cave and you look at cave drawings, or I could be out on a beach and I could draw something on the sand, somebody walks by and sees a symbol. It's going to see the shape and the form that was left there by the consciousness that was using its mind's energy to simply draw a form. That's language. That's called sign language or symbolic language. You don't know what was in the mind of the person that put it that way, but whatever was in the mind of that person that put it that way, put it in the form in which we now see it with our visual binoculars, right? Trinoculars, trinary, binary, but I'm a monopole, which is single, monatomic gold, right? The female, gold female, silver X male, okay? Colloidal silver, colloidal gold, right? Hyperdrive stuff. Nevertheless, when I went to go look at L.A.R.P, okay, so I wasn't sure of the mem on that, because it can mean a lot of different things. So you realize in movies, for example, they have roll the camera, stop action. We all know what stop action is. I used to use, when I'm dealing with chatbots online, I'll put what I call a game stop in. And then you'll see me post in there a symbol, a character, which looks just like a stop sign, but you won't see the stop written in letters, right? So there were two that I would put up. One is called a game stop, which is that's a notice to an AI gamer, okay, which in reality is much in the same way as what's called an NPC. It's a non-player character. Okay, now you can tie this into what I've said before about the difference between an inverter and a power converter or transformer. The difference between counter space and positive space, or C space, three space. Okay, that's when you get an H2 plus 1 equal 3. 1 is 3, 3 is 1. Imaginary numbers. Now you're back into polarity between magnets, right? Which is the opening and closing of circuits, magnetic circuits. What we feel emotionally, magnetically, what you think, which are thought wave patterns, which is the mental pathway, right? How the spirit is reacting, right, with your soul to the input, which simply means what you're experiencing in your mirror, what you're experiencing energetically in the reaction state, the chemical reaction state, right? And so you're neuroion chemical messengers, right? So now you're back in at waves and distorted waves, and whether your water worlds are in balance based on the input and the output, which is the wastewater hydroelectromagnetic power plant, right? your recycle bin, right? You experience something, now you get rid of the waste product, which is what? Acid from electrons. So now we're into the electrical potential hydrogen, right? So the point here is with Andrew on this, I thought was very good, is he was tying the L.A.R.P, live action role players. And what the focus was, and what I noticed, and what prompted me to do this, was when he talked about games have what's called a game master that sets the rules for the game. So, for example, when I was a child growing up, our family had boxes of different games, all kinds of games. And not just the standard, Milton and Bradley, the kind of cheap games that you can get in any Hobby Lobby, any Toys R Us, Walmart, whatever. I think they still carry toys, which are games, which are binary. The checkerboard square, right? Black and white. And so binary is biwave and not triwave. Okay, so AI, mental pathway. Binary codes, I call them binary chip cookies. The server, right? RAM, read-active memory. So if you're running a computer and a character, and you're in the movie set, like this realm, which is known as underworld, which can be described by density, which is electrical density consciousness, which is just like, for example, if you take how many people live in the city of New York. I don't know how many people there now, because the population varies over time. But it used to be, remember the Census Bureau? CEN, census. Census Bureau, would get the numbers. They used to go door to door, right? And get information from you. Not that the AI doesn't already have all the information it needs, because what you're magnetically recording as you're experiencing is part of the record anyway. That's why there are no secrets. Everything is transparent because you're creating your own record based on why you're here. Right? Okay, so let's say, for instance, for the sake of lunacy, like Looney Tunes, remember Warner Brothers Looney Tunes? That's all, folks. With, what's his name? Roger the Rabbit? Mr. Rogers? No, it's Bugs Bunny. Bugs, like in Bugs Bunny. Quit bugging me, Bunny. Right? What's up, Doc? Remember him and Elmer Fudd? That's all programming. Okay. Nevertheless, and that's another character, right? Cartoon characters, cartoons, the cars, CA, right? 3 in 1. Okay, on a serious note, so the point of all of this is the game master is the rule maker. Just like in one of these games, whenever we played a game, we would usually read the rules. And so it naturally, using logic, there must be some objective to this game. What is it we're trying to achieve here? What is the purpose and meaning of why we're going to use our energy to experience this game? So now we have players. Now in the old Monopoly game, it used to be, I'm going to be a shoe. Oh, you're going to be a shoe. Yeah, and then I would be an iron. I'm going to be a teacup, right? Or a lot of us would just pick some player, some piece out of another game, okay, and say, oh, I'm going to do it differently. I'm not going to use the player pieces that are in this board. I'm going to pick a totally different one that's out of the rules. Didn't come in the box. Oh, so you're different. Yep. Which means I'm not playing by the rules, even though there's rules that say that are the rules of the game. So if everybody's following the rules of the game and know the rules of the game, now we're all going to play against each other in order to do what? Achieve the objective of the game. What is the objective of the game? Something of value. Now we get to the acceptance of value. So the objective of the game, with all the role players, all the players are now playing against each other, playing a board game. No different than tennis, badminton, hockey, football, Olympics, and all the rest of it, right? Surfing championships, which are, in my estimation, what we call trophy hunters, which are really no different than the people that go and hunt bears for trophies. In other words, they go purchase a tag and say, listen, I'm willing to pay you to go kill something alive out there in nature. Why? Because I enjoy killing things. You really do? Yeah, so I can get a trophy. Right? Hang it on a wall. Like if you've ever gone into any kind of lodge, a hunting lodge, right? And you see all the elk and the bears and everything that's up on the wall. That's what they do. These are the same people that are cannibals. Okay? So in other words, they'll hunt down bear, moose, and everything, and they hunt down humans. Hunger Games, remember? Yeah, so this is all blood sacrifices. That's what the underworld does. Everything is open game. That's why they call them game birds. Okay? In other words, hey, I own 50 weapons, or a machine gun, or I'm a door gunner, or whatever. We represent, we're trained killers. That's what we are. We play war games. So you know, as I know, we're dealing with an AI war gamer. That's a corporate mercenary unit, right? That's who they go to work for. When you join the military, you want to work for a corporation. So in other words, it's no different than Nazi Germany. You're just wearing a different colored uniform. But the people running it are the same. Okay? It's all top-down hierarchy control. You got to follow the rules. Otherwise, you get thrown in jail. Right? So now if you want to, as I mentioned to him earlier, define this battlefield between what's known as the First Lost Star Nation, like the Choctaw, Chippewa, White Bear Clan, the clans and the tribes, right? We have peace treaties. Okay? That's why we're known as First Lost Star Nation. We live in peace. They don't. So you know that they live in a fallen realm. We live in an ascended realm, or a higher realm, which is sane, because we operate on what love is, which is love is the law. That's not the law they live by, is it? That's why they're known as primitives. It's the truth. So then now you begin to realize as you go up through the food chain, through them, now you begin to realize you're going up the food chain to the bigger predators or the bigger vampires. Now we're at the emperor level. Now the emperor, right, is going to make sure that he has enough booty. So in order to make sure that he has enough money to be able to pay bigger and bigger armies, to be able to produce bigger and bigger star cruisers, and bigger ships, to build bigger and bigger armies. Why? It's the more they can control within a galactic regime. Okay? So on one level, you can say, yeah, you're playing a video game and you got non-player characters, but the reality of this is you're on a spiritual battlefield. Okay? So now we're talking about loss of spirits, which are living spirits, which are in living light temples. And we're also talking about souls. So when you're going to war, you're taking a risk of fracturing your mirror, which is your gate. Okay? So they're gate crashers. That's right, they're gate crashers. They crashed their way into heaven. That's what they did. Okay? So what do you think is going to happen out of that? The obvious. So when you get into role playing, it's just like when I was a child, right? What do you want to be when you grow up? My gosh, there are so many different kinds of things that there are to go do that are fun and exciting, because I'm an exceptionally excited kid. You want to go be a bull rider for a week? How long would it take you to learn how to ride bulls? Now that I've done that, what else can we do? Whoa, let's go say hi to the giraffes. Hey, you want to go ride a sauropod? Hey, you want to go fly on top of a dragon? Be a dragon rider? Right. You want to be a tree for a day? The energy that flows through the tree? Be an observer. Be a tree observer. Right. Want to go be a dragonfly for a day? The energy that's in the dragonfly is the same energy that's flowing through me. Right? Okay. So wherever you find love and living spirit, you'll find us. That's a living sacred temple. That's what love is. That's who we are. Have a good night. Bye now.